We've all been there, right? You get super motivated to start a new habit, you go all in, and then a few days later, you just stop. Well, what if I told you there's a simple 7-day experiment that could completely change how you build habits forever? It's called the 7-day atomic experiment. So it all starts with a simple premise, just like this one, a 1-week commitment to something small, like meditating for just 10 minutes a day. Now, the goal here isn't to become a master in a week. No way. It's about discovering what really changes inside you when you just show up consistently, even if it's for a tiny amount of time. Okay, so this is it, the 7-day experiment. The whole idea is incredibly simple, It's a low-stakes challenge. The entire point is to prove to yourself that you can be consistent. We're not talking about some massive life overhaul here. We're talking about starting small, like really small. So, how do you do it? It's literally just 3 steps. Step 1, pick one tiny habit. I'm talking so small it almost feels silly. Step 2, do it every single day for just 7 days. And step 3, just write down what happens. That's it. The simplicity is the secret sauce here. All right, so why does this actually work? What's the magic here? Well, the secret is all about lowering the barrier. Think about it. The biggest reason we fail to start new habits is because we make them these huge, intimidating mountains to climb. The whole goal of this experiment is to make that starting line so easy to cross, you literally can't say no. And this slide just lays it out perfectly. On the left, you've got what I call the goal trap. I will journal for 30 minutes every day. I mean, that sounds great, right? But on a busy day, that feels impossible. Now look at the right, the micro habit. I will write 1 sentence. Could you do that? Of course you could. The idea is to make it almost impossible to fail. And I really want to drive this point home. For these 7 days, the goal is not to become a marathon runner or a journaling pro. The goal is to master one thing and one thing only, the art of showing up. That's it. That's the real victory. But of course, it's not always easy. Every journey has its challenge. And for this experiment, that challenge almost always shows up right on schedule. I'm talking about the day 3 slump. That critical moment where all the initial excitement just vanishes and the resistance starts to creep in. This timeline basically maps out the whole emotional journey. Day 1, you're excited, you're starting something new. Day 2, you're building a little momentum, feeling good. And then, bam, day 3, the slump. This is the pivot point. It feels like hitting a wall, but I really want you to see it as just part of the process. Just knowing it's coming is half the battle. So, why is day 3 so hard? I mean, really think about it. Any habit you've ever tried to start and then quit, did you hit that wall a few days in? It's an almost universal feeling, right? Well, the reasons are all pretty much psychological. First, that initial burst of motivation, it's gone. The novelty has worn off. And your brain, which absolutely loves old, easy patterns, starts to fight back against this new weird thing you're doing. So listen, it's not a personal failure. It's literally just your brain doing its job. The trick is to expect it and just push through anyway. Because what happens on the other side of that day 3 slump? That's where the magic is. You tap into the power of small wins. When you overcome that tiny bit of resistance, you get this huge surge of confidence, this momentum that can totally carry you through the rest of the week. And that momentum, it's all powered by a really famous idea, the compound effect. It's the principle that these tiny, almost insignificant actions, when you do them over and over, they snowball into something massive. That 1 sentence you write in your journal might feel like nothing, but trust me, it's the start of an avalanche. It all boils down to this one powerful number, 1%. That's it. Don't try to change your entire life overnight. Just aim to get 1% better. Just a tiny bit more consistent every single day. Look, on any given day, that 1% is so small you can barely see it. But you're not playing for today's result. You're playing for the trajectory. It's like an airplane changing its course by just 1 degree. Right now, it doesn't seem like much, but over the whole journey, it ends up in a completely different city. That's the power of your 1%. And that brings us to the end of the week. You did it. You wrote that sentence. You meditated for that 1 minute for 7 straight days. So what? What did you actually accomplish? Because the real takeaways here are so much deeper than just checking a box. You proved to yourself that you can be consistent. You started to rebuild trust in yourself and the promises you make to yourself. And maybe most importantly, you cast a tiny vote for a new identity. You started becoming the kind of person who does these things. And this quote just says it all, doesn't it? The real victory wasn't just doing the thing for 7 days. It was becoming the kind of person who could. It's a shift in how you see yourself. You didn't just do an action, you started becoming someone new. And that right there is the foundation for any real, lasting change. So I'm going to leave you with this question. Forget about those huge, life-changing goals for just a second. What's one tiny, almost ridiculously small experiment you could run for the next 7 days? What's one small thing that could start to change your trajectory?